desert sky, a foreign woman takes into her hands the destiny of one of history's greatest prophets. Beside her husband, she defies ancient customs, redefines the role of women in the Bible, and saves Moses at a moment when his own life was at risk. Welcome to Bible in Colors. Today, we dive into the startling journey of Zipporah, wife of Moses and daughter of Jethro, who, from the quiet of anonymity, emerged as a decisive protagonist in one of Scripture's most mysterious chapters. In moments of greatest threat, when great leaders falter in fear, it is Zipporah who steps to the forefront, crossing cultural and religious boundaries to intercede for her household. How does it strike you to realize that even behind the scenes, women are called to achieve extraordinary feats? How do we today recognize the impact of those who act with silent faith and courage in times of crisis? Zipporah was not merely the wife of a great man. She was a co-author of miracles, the keeper of traditions, a bridge between past and future, culture and faith. Endless droughts alternated with caravans of hope beneath the tents of Midian, the harsh landscape that forged this woman's strength. Her journey does not only belong on the pages of Exodus, but travels across generations as an example of decisiveness, humility, and readiness. Shocked, anxious, but steadfast, Zipporah transforms pain into devotion, uses what is at hand, and turns the unexpected into an altar of protection and miracle. Today's video invites you to reflect. How often do great changes begin with discreet gestures full of meaning? And for you, who are the Zipporahs in your life, people who, in the quiet of everyday moments, inspire faith, courage, and protection over your story. Watch to the end and discover how Zipporah's actions can transform your own deserts into corridors of hope. Share in the comments. Is there a woman in your story who marked your life at a decisive moment? Celebrate her legacy and strengthen this chain of courage. Subscribe to Bible in Colors, hit the notification bell, and invite others to experience with us examples of faith that change destinies. In a time marked by profound contrasts among cultures, clans, beliefs, and deserts, Zipporah emerges as a unique character who unites seemingly irreconcilable worlds. Daughter of Jethro, priest of Midian, she grew up surrounded by ancient tribal traditions and stories of her forefathers' God, living in the arid lands near Sinai, where hand-stitched tents filled the landscape. Every morning, the scent of sheep, the warmth of campfires, and the winds of the desert were everyday memories for Zipporah. The Midianites were known for hospitality, a deep reverence for the sacred, and the central role of family in daily life. In this context, Zipporah learned from a young age the value of observation, hospitality, and readiness. The biblical narrative in Exodus 2 presents Zipporah as a strong, capable young woman, able to care for sheep, respond swiftly to injustice, and offer shelter to a fugitive from Egypt. Moses, a middle-aged man with profound eyes, marked by exhaustion and resolve. Their meeting occurs at a well, a symbol of life and hope in desert regions. Faced with hostility from shepherds, Zipporah and her sisters are defended by Moses. Jethro, recognizing Moses' courage and integrity, offers him hospitality and then Zipporah's hand in marriage. This marks not just a union of individuals, but the merging of narratives, values, and faith, a bridge between the Hebrew line and the Midianite tradition. Zipporah enters Israel's story at a moment of transition, where the past of Egyptian oppression meets the promise of liberation. The scriptures tell her story with brevity, but its depth is revealed in the silent impact of her actions. Courage in danger, dialogue with the unfamiliar, welcoming the stranger, and living out faith amid daily hardship. She is the sort of biblical character who, though not front and center, is a pillar for Moses' calling and the divine plan. As Moses' wife, Zipporah welcomes the stranger, the exile, the destined leader. She gracefully balances the faith inherited from Jethro, with trust in the God of Israel revealed to Moses. Life in the desert, among the tents of Midian, relied on shared service, hard labor, and constant prayer, with survival dependent on the wisdom passed between men and women. Today's text invites you to imagine living between two worlds, loving someone of such varied origin and mission, witnessing firsthand Moses' encounters with the Lord of Sinai, the God who, until then, was the God of others, but now reveals himself to her on the journey. What questions arise in your heart as you encounter a woman unafraid to embrace the new and the different? Could you practice hospitality, dialogue, and faith like Zipporah when faced with the challenge of uniting such distinct cultures and paths? How do we build bridges, not walls, in a world brimming with differences? Zipporah, daughter of Jethro and wife of Moses, makes us reflect on silent yet powerful leadership that drives real change, especially behind the scenes of God's story. Write in the comments, what cultural or faith differences have you helped bridge? Share your testimony and strengthen our community. Subscribe to Bible in Colors and activate the bell. With each new narrative, we'll grow together in empathy, faith, and understanding. It is in everyday gestures and unexpected decisions that Zipporah reveals the depth of her wisdom and courage. Married to Moses, she shares the simple routine of family leadership, caring for their children, and adapting culturally for a life among the people of Midian and Moses' divine calling. Their journey is a delicate balance between domestic responsibility and engagement with God's greater plan for Israel. Their home, composed of tents, clay instruments, and a life amid sheep and family tables, is a place for dialogue, listening, and building dreams. Zipporah shines especially in one of Scripture's most mysterious episodes. During the journey to Egypt, as Moses sets out to fulfill his mission to liberate the people, God confronts him because of an ancestral disobedience. On that strange night, with danger looming over Moses' life, Zipporah, with impressive determination, makes a decisive move. Familiar with the Hebrew tradition of circumcision, she knows her son Gershom has not yet undergone the ritual. Without hesitation, in the hours before what could be the end, Zipporah performs the ceremony, saving Moses from divine judgment and ensuring his story does not end there. It is the moment when a woman, standing between life and death, honors tradition, respects God's will, and protects her husband from tragedy. This episode highlights a defining trait of female leadership: the ability to act precisely and sensitively when the unexpected comes. Zipporah did more than listen to Moses' stories. She learned to sense the urgency of divine commands, interpreted symbols, and attended to what mattered. In Zipporah's silent actions lies a practical, direct faith, touching ancient values without losing sight of the present context. She teaches that behind every great spiritual journey, there is someone attentive to details, ready to intercede and protect. Moses' home was a place not only for momentous miracles, but also for small gestures that upheld the divine plan. Moses and Zipporah's relationship is woven with honest talks, exchanges about the journey's difficulties, reflections on the past, and preparation for the future. Among Midian's tents, Zipporah prepares meals, tends to the children, and offers comfort in times of pain and doubt. Moses shares his visions and fears, receives advice, and finds refuge in his wife's steadfastness. Zipporah, in turn, finds balance in faith to stand alongside a man called to lead a nation. Her role transcends conventional functions of wife or mother. She becomes guardian of the mission, protector of the purpose, wise woman amid risks. How do you respond to unexpected crises? Are you able to act even when the context doesn't provide all the answers? Have you noticed that in times of family or spiritual emergency, you must listen to the heart, lean on tradition, and act with genuine courage? Zipporah challenges today's audience not to underestimate small acts, but to recognize them as turning points in whole stories. Share in the comments, when has a seemingly small gesture changed your destiny or that of your family? Your experience can strengthen others living through silent dilemmas. Subscribe to Bible in Colors and invite friends and family to learn together how faith transforms crises into daily miracles. At the height of their journey's twists, Zipporah faces the pinnacle of her silent mission. After the life-saving circumcision episode, she and Moses return to Egypt, a land battered by her people's suffering and promises of long-awaited deliverance. Each step on the dusty road holds the weight of the unknown, fear and expectation. Moses, even as God's chosen, reveals his humanity in moments of doubt and in the loaded silences during their stops along the way. By his side, Zipporah stands firm. She is the arm, the comfort, the gaze of encouragement when hope seems to fade on the distant horizon. Zipporah and Moses' relationship deepens during this critical crossing. Long nights by the campfires, with their children sleeping nearby and the wind threatening the flames, are filled with conversations about what awaits them in Egypt. Moses shares fears of confronting Pharaoh, uncertainties about reuniting with his family, and the weight of responsibility for freeing thousands. Zipporah, desert-forged and patient, reminds him of the God who sees beyond limitations, of promises that turn the unlikely into reality. In silence, she prays, cooks, and manages the practical details that fortify the miracle in progress. The story's climax unfolds when Moses is confronted, not by Egyptian enemies, but by the internal pressure of self-doubt. The episode with the burning bush and the staff turning into a serpent is behind him, yet the fear of failure haunts him. Zipporah senses her husband's rising tension. She does not meet it with platitudes, but with presence, care, and above all, a simple faith. Her counsel does not merely echo in their desert tent. It lays the emotional foundation for Moses to stand before Pharaoh. Arriving in Egypt, Zipporah witnesses her husband's transformation, from exiled shepherd to Israel's liberator. She does not claim the public spotlight. Her strength lies backstage, in details and in mutual encouragement. The couple's children notice this change, seeing in their mother's eyes a blend of concern and pride. The audience is invited to recognize this woman, who acts as a bridge between the impossible and the accomplished, even when out of the limelight. How often have you supported someone when everyone else merely watched from a distance? Have you ever been an emotional anchor for someone facing giants? Zipporah's life's climax is not just her decisive actions, but her constant faithfulness, unshowy boldness, and a faith expressed through service and loyalty. Share in the comments. When have you been a support for someone in crisis? Share your stories and strengthen the community with examples of true companionship. Subscribe to Bible in Colors, invite friends and family, and follow this inspiring and transformative series. Arriving in Egypt signals the start of Zipporah's story resolution, a woman who stands firm amid the unknown. The gates to Pharaoh's land open for Moses and his family, immersing them in a world of strangeness, risk, and anticipation. Zipporah, even as a foreigner, takes in every detail, respects boundaries, and strives to understand the customs and tensions of the oppressed Hebrew people. Gershom and Eliezer feel the impact of the new setting, but it is their mother's guidance that gives them balance and courage to face difficulties. As Moses prepares to meet Hebrew leaders and confront Pharaoh, Zipporah manages the daily life, keeping the family protected and unified. She navigates long absences of her husband, encourages her sons to preserve their identity, and prays silently for safety. Amid great events, plagues, confrontations, miracles, Zipporah, in her discretion, ensures the emotional and spiritual foundation of their home. She shares hope, offers advice, and listens to Moses' fears, even as doubt threatens to overwhelm him. With Israel's liberation unfolding, Moses' calling becomes historic. Receiving God's direction for the Exodus, Moses must guide thousands through an unfamiliar desert. Zipporah accompanies part of this journey, and even in separations and later reunions recorded in Exodus 18, she remains a symbol of faithfulness and adaptability amid the demands of divine mission. The reunion of Zipporah, Moses, and Jethro is marked by celebration of achieved miracles, stories exchanged beneath the tents, and a proud glance from the father-in-law, who recognizes the couple's decisive role in Israel's deliverance. The story's great message is not confined to the moment of circumcision or public miracles. It's found in the value of silent presence, constant support, wisdom to mediate, encourage, and uphold when great purposes require patience and humility. Zipporah is remembered for her readiness to act, simplicity, resilience in adversity, and practical faith. The narrative challenges all to notice that beyond the voices in the spotlight, many miracles happen backstage, where wise women sustain families, communities, and legacies of faith. Zipporah's future is marked by respectful anonymity in Scripture, but her influence remains a legacy of courage and balance, inspiring those who seek to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, guiding others toward the mission God intends. May we learn from her about loyalty, adaptability, and the strength of love in daily life. Share in the comments. What have you learned from Zipporah's quiet courage? How can you apply persistence, humility, and faith in your everyday life? Subscribe to Bible in Colors. Invite your loved ones and continue your journey with us, celebrating the people and values that uphold true faith. Zipporah's silent courage leaves a legacy for us today. In a world full of uncertainties, challenges, and rapid change, her story invites reflection on applying practical faith and steady love in our daily lives. Zipporah shows us that courage doesn't need to be loud or grand to transform realities. Often it's a simple gesture, a timely word, the faith that sustains us in small details that truly makes a difference. Today, we face diverse challenges: personal, familial, social, economic, and spiritual crises. How often do we hesitate in fear of the unknown, overwhelmed by responsibilities seemingly greater than our strength? Zipporah inspires us to choose trust in God, even when we cannot see the entire path. To act within our means, convinced that every action matters for history's unfolding. Her life also reminds us of the importance of women's and community roles in spiritual and emotional strength. Zipporah, a woman who acted with wisdom and readiness, challenges us to value and recognize women in our families, churches, and communities who, though spotlight-free, sustain faith and offer unconditional support. How can we create spaces for these silent forces to thrive and be acknowledged? Practicing this faith today means investing in relationships, caring for one another, being attentive and willing to act when love can save or transform. If you feel overwhelmed, remember you don't have to carry everything alone. The path eases when we walk in community with shared trust and courage. And you? What practical attitudes can you cultivate to be, like Zipporah, a point of support and inspiration in your family and environment? How can you strengthen your faith beyond theory, experiencing the power of surrender and present action? Share in the comments what you've done to strengthen your faith and that of those around you. What small act had a great impact? Subscribe to Bible in Colors, invite your network, and together let's build a living, active chain of faith. Beneath the scorching desert sky, a foreign woman takes into her hands the destiny of one of history's greatest prophets. Beside her husband, she defies ancient customs, redefines the role of women in the Bible, and saves Moses at a moment when his own life was at risk. Welcome to Bible in Colors. Today we dive into the startling journey of Zipporah, wife of Moses and daughter of Jethro, who, from the quiet of anonymity, emerged as a decisive protagonist in one of Scripture's most mysterious chapters. In moments of greatest threat, When great leaders falter in fear, it is Zipporah who steps to the forefront, crossing cultural and religious boundaries to intercede for her household. How does it strike you to realize that even behind the scenes, women are called to achieve extraordinary feats? How do we, today, recognize the impact of those who act with silent faith and courage in times of crisis? Zipporah was not merely the wife of a great man. She was a co-author of miracles, the keeper of traditions, a bridge between past and future, culture and faith. Endless droughts alternated with caravans of hope beneath the tents of Midian, the harsh landscape that forged this woman's strength. Her journey does not only belong on the pages of Exodus, but travels across generations as an example of decisiveness, humility, and readiness. Shocked, anxious, but steadfast, Zipporah transforms pain into devotion, uses what is at hand, and turns the unexpected into an altar of protection and miracle. Today's video invites you to reflect. How often do great changes begin with discreet gestures full of meaning? And for you, who are the Zipporahs in your life? People who, in the quiet of everyday moments, inspire faith, courage, and protection over your story. Watch to the end and discover how Zipporah's actions can transform your own deserts into corridors of hope. Share in the comments. Is there a woman in your story who marked your life at a decisive moment? Celebrate her legacy and strengthen this chain of courage. Subscribe to Bible in Colors, hit the notification bell, and invite others to experience with us examples of faith that change destinies. As we contemplate Zipporah, we find a profound invitation to a spirituality that goes beyond words and formal rituals, stepping into the realm of concrete action and daily surrender. Zipporah shows us that true faith is an embodied spirituality, attentive to life's concrete needs, manifesting in care, courage, and pragmatic love that saves and transforms. Bible in Colors invites you into a moment of intimate connection with God, where prayer is not just speech, but surrender that strengthens and renews the spirit. Imagine Zipporah amid the silence of the tents, eyes closed and heart open, entrusting her fears for her husband and children's lives, trusting God's plan even when all seemed uncertain. Her prayer inspires us to seek this genuine encounter with the divine, where internal walls fall, capsules of hope are cast, and the Spirit's serene voice is heard. This spirituality is strong and resilient, born from awareness of what's at stake and conviction that God is present, even in the driest desert, even in the stormiest nights. You are invited into this silent and profound dialogue with God now, a moment to breathe, to surrender all that weighs on your heart, trusting that every tear and whispered word reaches Him and is embraced with love. Here at Bible in Colors, we want you to experience prayer as a living source of transformation, not routine but encounter, that prepares us to act with renewed courage and hope. What words would you use to speak to God in this moment? How do you express what your soul most desires and fears? Zipporah's prayer helps us understand that confessing fear and love, doubt and faith can be the start of deep healing. It invites us to renew intimacy with the Father, strengthening each day's journey with authenticity and courage. I invite you now to pray with me. Lord, just as Zipporah entrusted her husband and family to you, I entrust my life, struggles, and loves into your hands. Give me strength to be faithful even in silence, courage to act at the right moment, and peace to trust you are the way and the truth. If this prayer touched your heart, share your words, requests, or faith experiences in the comments. Let's grow together in active and transforming spirituality. Subscribe to Bible in Colors, turn on notifications, and stay with us for more moments of faith and hope. The moment highlighting Zipporah's faith and leadership in the Bible is found in Exodus 4:24-26. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone, circumcised the child, and touched his feet with it, saying, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." This passage is extremely significant as it reveals that obedience to God's laws, even in the face of mortal threat, is essential for divine protection and continuation of the calling. Zipporah, even in urgent and dangerous circumstances, acts swiftly and courageously, demonstrating her faith and understanding of the covenant's demands. She assumes an active and decisive role, even correcting her husband and protecting the divine mission. Scholars interpret this episode as a sign of the power of the circumcision covenant to secure blessing and divine protection. Theologically, this passage shows that the covenant with God requires radical faithfulness and readiness to act, even if it involves difficult sacrifices. It also highlights the vital collaboration of women in God's mission, their courage and zeal. It reflects the idea that the God of Israel acts in the details of life, intervening to ensure his eternal purpose. For contemporary audiences, this story invites reflection on the personal commitments we make in faith, the courage to fulfill God's will amid challenges, and the transformative role each of us can play when aligned with God's call. Zipporah exemplifies spiritual courage and surrender, inspiring faithful action in daily life. Reflect. How can you respond with courage and faithfulness to the opportunities and challenges you face? What personal commitments do you need to renew to grow in active faith? Join the comments by sharing your thoughts on this powerful passage. Be sure to subscribe to Bible in Colors to continue this journey of deep learning and inspiration. Reflecting on Zipporah's story, it becomes clear that her significance goes far beyond the biblical events. She represents the essential role of a wife and companion in spiritual journeys and divine mission. Zipporah is the woman who silently supports, protects, and intervenes when needed, showing courage and wisdom in the face of adversity. Her action in the circumcision episode symbolizes her deep commitment to Moses' calling and fidelity to God, even amid unknown dangers. This stance invites each of us to reflect on how we can be support and strength to those around us, especially in times of crisis. In human relationships, having a figure like Zipporah makes all the difference. In her family, she provided emotional and spiritual support to Moses, helping him focus on the mission, strengthening his faith and courage. Her practical action, as in the dramatic episode at the lodging, reveals that true love knows how to act swiftly and without hesitation to protect life and fulfill the divine purpose. She exemplifies discreet female leadership, crucial for sustaining a greater calling. For today's audience, Zipporah shows that everyone has a vital role, even when not in the spotlight. Faith comes alive concretely through fidelity to what God entrusts to us in daily life, readiness to act wisely, and loving care for the relationships we build. We are invited to apply this example in family, work, community, and church, understanding that our daily commitment is essential for God to perform miracles among us. Have you ever been like Zipporah, the support someone needed to continue? How can you today assume that role of serene courage when the spotlight seems elsewhere? It is time to recognize the power of love, acting wisely, and to honor those whose silent faith sustains great journeys. Share with us, when have you acted with courage or been supported by someone with faith and love? Let's cultivate a network of support and inspiration at Bible in Colors. Subscribe and invite your friends as we celebrate faith in action together. As we reach the end of this deep journey through Zipporah's life, wife of Moses and daughter of Jethro, we are invited to reflect on the value of silent courage, practical love, and resilient faith. Her story, though briefly told in the scriptures, echoes as a powerful testimony that great achievements begin in simple everyday acts and the willingness to act despite fear. Zipporah reminds us that beyond great leaders and their public victories, there are women and men whose faithfulness weaves the unseen fabric of salvation history. The next narrative on Bible in Colors will introduce Jochebed, Moses' mother, an even quieter woman, yet fundamental in the formation of the great deliverer. The connection between Zipporah and Jochebed emphasizes the vital role of women in leading faith, sustaining God's mission, and protecting His promise to His people. Soon, you will be able to dive into another story that unites courage, faith, and legacy. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you won't miss this inspiring sequence that rekindles hope in every heart seeking to live faith authentically and passionately. Share with your family and friends, for growing together in faith is the greatest gift we can cultivate. Tell us in the comments, what did Zipporah's story awaken in you? What legacy of courage and faith do you desire to build? Your voice is essential to our community. We look forward to seeing you in the next video as we continue this journey of light, where every story nourishes our soul and strengthens our walk.